I can just imagine the lack of views this shit will pull because of the lack of editing or anything in this video. Hello there. As you can tell by the title, this is gonna be a little bit different from my usual videos. I've only really made a commentary video once, and it was about a topic that most people already in my circle know about, because animation memes, people like that, are into like Husband Hotel, the boss shit. Most, if not all of my viewers are not really into anime, which I do want to expand that. I want more people who know Naruto and animes in general to follow me. Maybe this will view that, maybe they will hate me because I'm afraid. I've always had this opinion on Sasukes Revolution, how stupid it actually is when you really think about it and click on like real life history and shit. And especially seeing some people actually believe he was right, it's just so fucking funny to me. And I've always wanted, and I was like, what if I make it into a video? Why not? Even though it's probably not gonna get any views, why not just talk about how stupid the plan is for literally just fun and sharing my opinion? Honestly, this isn't even that much for views. I just really want to make a video on this. Because I've seen so many people, I've seen one person mostly, but in general, I have seen this consensus that there are some people who believe he was right, and I never saw anyone really argue against it or anything, because usually people with extreme opinions like that are hanging around one specific circle that agrees with them or something. So I decided to make this video, just for the sake of it, for the fun of it. Why not? This might be a little bit all over the place because I don't have a plan, I don't have a scenario, I don't have anything. I'm just going off of my head. But I'm pretty sure I remember all the details of the revolution and everything, because if you couldn't tell by literally everything on my channel, Sasuke's kind of my character, he's kind of my thing, he's kind of my brand. He's me, bro. He's literally me, girl. So I understand him more than anyone, I'd say. You know, aside of the actual guy who made him. I can't argue. I'm not delusional. I can't argue against that. But even personally, I understand Sasuke more than people do. And his revolution is fucking stupid and makes no fucking sense. Or maybe some sense in some way, but not in the logical way anyway, in my opinion. So, to give a quick rundown of what Sasuke's revolution was supposed to be, or what it is in general, especially for people who might not know. Basically, Sasuke came up to this conclusion that to reach somewhat world peace, to bring everyone together, he needs to become the enemy, taking all the hatred of everyone to himself, so everyone hates him, and they like kind of just bond over that. And okay, dude. Yeah, makes sense, definitely. And that on its own already raises a bunch of questions. I mean, first of all, on a real life logic, Hitler was the most hated, and I don't think that brought anyone world peace, because first of all, he was doing horrible things, and that already hurts people, and that already can create a lot of pain and shit, even if people are united just to stop him, you know what I mean? Second of all, there are some people who will agree with Sasuke's vision, just like with any evil person or bad person or any bad views. Someone will agree. Some people agree with Trump, some people agree with Putin, you know, that's just how it is. So people would agree with Sasuke, and that would create even more hatred and tension, because people would then fight over the ideology. And as much as Sasuke wouldn't want that, that would just happen, and he can't really stop it unless he kills them. Which you can then argue Sasuke wanted to, you know, he wanted to be the one who controls all the punishment and judgment and all that. But Sasuke is pretty skewered. He has a pretty closed off type of judgment and shit. He doesn't put the judgment on what's truly right or wrong. It's more so his own perception of what's right and wrong, which, fair enough, morality is subjective, and everyone has their own ideas of what's bad, what's good, what's great, what's this, what's redeemable, what's not. But that's the thing, that's not gonna create world peace. And just because you're the one who's hated, and you want everyone to hate you, which can't always happen, like, no matter how bad you are, some people will just respect you anyway, because that's just how some humans are, you know? You never know what they went through, you know? Doesn't mean that everyone will follow that either, you know? It doesn't mean that they will all agree with it. and that it will follow through, you know, because people have their own fucking minds, so they aren't brainwashed, which maybe Sasuke would brainwash them. I don't fucking know, and I don't want to know, because it's not like it works out anyway, so we don't actually know what Sasuke would have truly done and how it would actually go. But I really doubt making yourself hated by everyone would create world peace in any fucking way. Even with people who all hate you, that doesn't mean they all agree with each other. And even if, yes, Madara, Kaguya, Obito, all of them, yeah, everyone united to destroy them, true, but, like, that doesn't mean there's world peace. And Sasuke does make an argument. So basically, Naruto makes the argument that the villages are united right now, and Sasuke tries to disprove that by saying that that's only because they're the common enemy, and now they'll just bicker again. I'm curious if he really thinks that if they just have a common enemy for eternity, they will somehow always be united and never argue against each other ever again. Because I don't think that's realistic. Like, yeah, maybe emotionally it makes sense somewhat, but logically, if you think about it, that's not how it worked ever. Not in our world anyway. Like, yeah, they have a common enemy, so they will unite, but that doesn't mean they agree with each other. So at some point, the disagreements will just continue anyway, and especially if the common enemy continues for eternity, it's kind of like, it's going to become the norm at some point. It's going to become expected, and at that point, you know. And also, Sasuke is creating a revolution to get rid of the government he deems as morally unright. But wouldn't people also think that way about him and start their own revolutions at some point against him, which could also create even more hatred and tension? Like, I don't see how making yourself hated by everyone is somehow gonna fix everyone's issues and make them unite and have peace together. What do you fucking mean? And while he does have some right views on this and right opinions, I'm not gonna actually mention any of that because, first of all, I don't care. Second of all, this video is mostly about the things that don't make sense and just irritate me, because the things that don't make any sense and are more detrimental to Sasuke's message are way more important than the ones that prove him right in any way, because the negatives will outweigh the positives, because Sasuke wants a positive. So if there's more negatives, then that just kind of, the positives don't matter anymore, because there's more negatives to something he wants to be seen as positive. You know what I mean? So I don't really care about the positives, because they don't really matter if you think about it. Like, one thing I can mention, like, for example, destroying the village and rebuilding it from the top, from the bottom to the top. That on paper sounds like a positive thing, but I do agree with Naruto. Logically, it's not a positive. Because history is important, and I'll say this in a non-ironic way, like, listen. I do genuinely sort of agree that history isn't that important to everyone, at least. Like, to me, history isn't that important because whatever happened in the past, to me, also very similar Sasuke mindset, I'm sorry about that, did happen in the past. It shouldn't really matter that much right now. But I don't mean that in a way of you shouldn't learn from the past, because you should. The past is there to learn for the future, which is what Naruto was right about. I'm sorry for all the rockets. My cat is in zoomy mode. But yeah, I do get that. I get the idea that the past should be in the past and you should just make the future right now instead of caring about the past. But there's a difference in not caring about the past and letting it define you, and literally just forgetting it ever existed and cutting it off. Like, that's not the same thing, and I don't mean that. Like, for example, I don't think I need to know about Hitler because it was years ago. I don't really care what he did fucking thousands of years ago or whenever it was. But that doesn't mean it's not important in general, especially for the government, for countries, for people who do care about making a difference, to care about this stuff. For me, I'm not trying to make a difference. I'm not a world savior. I fucking hope I wouldn't be. But Sasuke, for someone like Sasuke who wants to change the world for the better, the past is literally the most important thing, because you need it to learn how to make the future better so it doesn't repeat the past. So that's why rebuilding the village and just destroying everything is it's not the right way. I will go a little rambly right now, but to be fair, it is pretty fucking funny that Sasuke's plan is really similar to God's plan in the Bible, which I'm not a Christian by any means. Don't attack me. I'm not one of them. I'm sorry. But basically, it is really funny how God has an idea of the Armageddon, which is basically the end of the world before the last day of judgment, where he literally destroys the world, then judges humanity on everything they did, and then just rebuilds it from anew. Just builds a new planet, new humanity, fuck it all. Which is really interesting. Damn, Sasuke has the same plans as God. Who wouldn't have guessed? Okay, I feel like I've been rambling way too much. Maybe I should actually be a bit more coherent right now. So I'm gonna go a little bit point by point, but not everything because I can't be bothered. But let's just break down a few things Sasuke fucking says from the beginning to, like, the ending of the speech at least. But, like, him saying how he came to understand Itachi's feelings and all of that jazz, which is such a lie, dude. Stop lying to me. Like, Sasuke does not know Itachi at all, but not knowing him doesn't fit his narrative, so he just lies to himself, bro. But, you know, Itachi literally told him he made a mistake with him and the whole, like, how he handled everything, and, like, so that's the thing. Reading between the lines of what Sasuke says and how Sasuke's life actually came to be outside of his own perspective, he basically is lying to himself. I believe Sasuke does know he's actually wrong. I believe he knows deep down that some of his shit just doesn't line up with reality, because some of the things he says contradict each other somewhat. Him saying he understands Itachi's feelings, and then when Naruto tells him he doesn't, he just kind of doesn't react. I'm sorry for my cat, but he doesn't really react. He doesn't really say anything even back, which is really interesting. Another thing that I believe proves that I am somewhat right, at least, about Sasuke just lying to himself, is that Naruto literally specifically tells him that he can't do everything alone, and uses a very valid point that literally destroys his entire narrative that's based on doing everything alone. If he says that he couldn't have saved the world without Naruto. He couldn't have killed Kaguya on his own. Sasuke ignores that. He ignores that. He does not respond at all. He only like stares down for a fucking second and then says something completely fucking unrelated to it, and it's like, man, just admit you're wrong. At that point, you don't even have a fucking reason. You don't even have a point. You can't even disprove what Naruto says, and what Naruto says disproves your entire ideology, dude. That's just pathetic, honestly. Also, him saying he'll build a pure white future from scratch. My man, you're a part of the past, dude. Just, if you really think that, you should have killed yourself. Like, okay, this one is a bit harsh, but come on, logically, he's just wrong. How can you agree with that? Oh yeah, I will build a pure future from scratch by destroying all the past and becoming the only darkness and enemy. As if he isn't a part of the past as well. Like, gal, I think everyone knows what you did in the past. Everyone sees you as a fucking terrorist. Are we this unself-aware queen? God damn it. People think he's right in this. I'm crying, dude. This is no. Naruto fans, I tell ya. That's really all he says at the beginning little speech. And I really feel like I'm not misinterpreting anything, okay? This is an easy plan to understand. This is not a complex thing at all. Sasuke's ideology is pretty easy to get, in my opinion. And I don't think I'm reading it wrong at all. I know more than you. To shut up. It's a joke. Calm down, please. Don't send the hate comments. Nobody's gonna watch this, but his plan is just to be hated by everyone, become the enemy, become the darkness, while also controlling everything and saying the judgment, the punishment, and all of that. Basically becoming a dictator. That's literally what it is. Sasuke is becoming a dictator. By definition, he is one. Or he wants to be one anyway. Which is really funny. Because Naruto really does act like a normal fucking, I don't know, president, and then we have Sasuke, who's basically a dictator, and he basically wants to dictate people to do what he wants by, well, throwing, you know, all the judgment and punishment, but also making everyone absolutely hate him as a way to unite them somehow is just really stupid. Like, I get the points. Some people will join together forces, even with people they hate, just to destroy someone they hate, or something that's a grave danger to them. But that being the whole plan for world peace just doesn't make sense to me. I don't see why it would make sense to literally anyone, but, you know, Naruto fans aren't exactly known for their high intelligence, especially emotional intelligence. Goddamn, most of them act like children, but you get what I mean. I don't know what else to say. I could go in more in depth if I truly wrote a scenario for all this and actually, you know, analyzed way more. But I don't even think I need that, really, because I think this is just simple. This is not complex. This isn't hard to understand. I am not misinterpreting anything. This is just what he says, and this is just how it's implied, and that's basically what he wants. Like, if you're telling me I'm wrong somehow, then I don't know if you watched the show yourself, Queen, because that is what he wants. He never, ever disproves of that. Even looking deeper into what he truly wants, like, deep down, that doesn't say anything more. The only thing that I can say about that is that deep down Sasuke actually wants to be with Naruto and Sakura and just wants to be happy and have his own peace. He just wants to be happy, but that's a completely different issue, and that's not what people would argue against this whole thing with. But that's what he wants deep down anyway. The thing that he pushes so hard away is the one thing he wants the most. I would fucking know. But you get my point. There's nothing deeper going on. Sasuke isn't, like, hiding a message underneath it. This is exactly what he wants, and he's telling it to Naruto, the closest person to him. Why would he fucking hide behind anything now, especially now at their final fight? Like, there's just no point. I don't think there's any deeper message to that. I'm pretty sure what he says is exactly what he wants to do, and that is pretty much exactly what he wants to do. Like, you just can't tell me I'm wrong. And I mean, you can say I'm wrong if you want. I disagree. I think I'm pretty right in my observations. But, you know, that's just my opinion, right? Nothing is right or wrong. It's all just subjective opinions. But, you know, I think people are just weird that they agree with this, because it makes no sense, and it's stupid. And I really don't think it will work out well based on our history, which, funny enough, Sasuke was trying to run away from that past that told him that this wouldn't work. You know, almost like he knows he's wrong, but he's escaping any proof, anything that contradicts his own narrative, because he doesn't want his own narrative to be destroyed. I don't think he actually believes he's completely right, you know? It just doesn't feel like it when you actually read what he's saying and how he's responding to Naruto, making the most valid fucking questions that disprove his entire thing, and he just ignores it. That's not something someone who thinks they're absolutely in the right would do, right? They would double down, you know? But he's not even doing that anymore. Like, Naruto could tell him over and over that he can't do everything alone, and he will just ignore it at that point. And just to make it more coherent again, yep, Sasuke has some valid opinion about the whole, the villagers will just start bickering again if they don't have a common enemy. But I feel like there's a better way to dismantle that than making another enemy for all eternity for everyone to just hate casually. But, you know, that's just my 2 cents. Maybe I'm not emotional enough to get that. Anyway, it's not very logical in my opinion, but share what you think. Why not? I'm interested. But I really can't be bothered hearing people say he was absolutely in the right, or even that much in the right, because he really wasn't that much in the right at all. He himself doesn't fucking think so, man. But either way, this is just a short little video, 20 minutes. It's just a little video that I just wanted to share my opinions. This isn't really that analyzed or detailed, and I hope that's fine. I hope you like it anyway. I just wanted to throw it out because I have the time finally because I'm holiday of work. Streams. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you stick for more. I want to make more commentary videos like this and stuff. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this. Like and subscribe, comment. See you in the next one.